He walks into the parts counter with a simple request: a crankshaft position sensor for a 2016 diesel. The guy behind the screen types it in, pauses, frowns. Discontinued? Not delayed. Not low stock. Gone. You checks another warehouse, same answer. Now the truck isn't waiting on labor. It's waiting on something that no longer exists in inventory. This is happening right now. Before any new policy hit. Before any new tariffs took effect. Repair costs had already climbed 27%. A $1,200 repair quietly becomes $1,500. A $4,000 job crosses $5,000 without warning. And that's when the part is still available. When it isn't, the math breaks completely. Across dealerships, independent shops, and salvage networks, the same pattern repeats. Critical components are vanishing faster than they're being replaced, not randomly, systematically. Three forces are driving it: the tariff wall, the discontinuation clock, the just-in-time trap. You don't understand them yet. That's the problem. Because if you own a truck built before 2018, at least one of those forces is already targeting a part sitting on your truck right now. On March 26, 2025, the order was signed. It didn't look dramatic. Just another trade action under Section 232. By May 3rd, it was active. A 25% import tax, not on finished vehicles alone, on parts, engines, transmissions, electrical components, sensors, ECMS, everything your truck depends on to stay alive. This wasn't targeted. It was systemic. J.P. Morgan put a number on it quickly: $41 billion in added cost in the first year alone. Not absorbed by manufacturers, not negotiated away, transferred. Broken down, that's roughly $2,580 per vehicle in year one, and climbing to $3,258 by year three as pricing compounds through the system. That's not a projection. That's the model. The Federal Reserve confirmed the mechanism behind it. 100% of the cost passes through to the end buyer. No buffer, no subsidy, no protection. You pay all of it. Now bring that down to a single repair. A sensor that cost $400 last year doesn't stay $400. It lands closer to $500, sometimes higher, depending on sourcing and margin stacking. And here's where the second effect hits. Importers stop stocking aggressively because a $400 part sitting on a shelf is manageable. A $500 to $550 part that might not sell for months is risk. So, inventory tightens. This is where cost turns into scarcity. An economist at Cox Automotive put it plainly. When tariffs hit components at this scale, the disruption isn't just pricing, it's availability. That's the part most people miss. Now layer in the final constraint. More than 50% of the content in a US assembled truck is imported, not optional components, core systems. Even the Ford F-Series supply chain pulls parts across more than 24 countries. So the idea of an American truck being insulated from this, it doesn't hold. Which means every repair you make is now exposed. A $400 repair becomes $500. In 18 months, it pushes $600. And that's assuming you can still get the part. Because even if the tariffs disappeared tomorrow, the second force was already set in motion long before this one arrived. There is a rule most truck owners never hear about. Manufacturers are only required to support replacement parts for a limited window after a model ends production. That's it. For years, the industry standard sat around 10 years, long enough to cover a typical ownership cycle, long enough to feel safe. That standard is shrinking. Ford, among others, has reportedly reduced support windows to as little as 6 years on certain models and components. Now, run the math on your truck. If your model year ended production in 2018 and the effective parts window is 6 years, you are already at the edge of that timeline, or past it, while you may still be making payments. That's the trap. Your loan runs longer than your parts support, and when that window closes, it doesn't fade out gradually. It stops. Inside dealer systems, a part flips to a specific status, NLA, no longer available. Automotive News reported that 43% of owners of discontinued models are struggling to source OEM parts. And it always starts with the same categories: electronic modules, proprietary sensors, ECMs, the parts you cannot substitute, the parts the aftermarket cannot replicate cleanly, the parts your truck cannot run without. This is where insider behavior changes. Experienced mechanics don't wait for failure. They watch part status, because the moment a component is flagged NLA, the secondary market reacts instantly. And right now, trucks built between 2015 and 2018 are entering, or already inside, that window. But even when a part hasn't been discontinued, and even when the system still says it exists, there's a third force that decides whether you can actually get it. Truck manufacturers don't stock parts the way you think they do anymore. They don't warehouse inventory, they don't build surplus, they don't keep shelves full just in case. They order parts when they need them. They assemble vehicles when those parts arrive, and they move on. This system has a name: just-in-time manufacturing. Now introduce a shock into that system. In 2024, General Motors issued a recall affecting over 721,000 trucks and SUVs, including the Silverado, Sierra, Tahoe, Yukon, and Escalade platforms, built between 2021 and 2024. Every one of those vehicles required parts. The same parts supply chain your repair depends on. Same sensors, same modules, same assemblies. This is where the economics turn brutal. An industry technician put it plainly: a $300 part can generate $9,000 in downtime. One failed component, 6 weeks off the road, lost contracts, missed deliveries, idle labor. That's the real cost structure. Now let's deal with the assumption that usually comes next. I'll just order it online. No. Electronic assemblies, the modules, the control units, the sensors tied to modern emissions and safety systems, are running on semiconductor supply chains that still carry lead times of 6 to 8 months. Not days, not weeks, months. Importers have started pulling back because parts that used to sell at $300 don't move the same way at $500 or $600, especially when demand becomes uncertain and holding inventory becomes a liability, so they stop bringing them in. Entire SKUs disappear from the market. 3 forces, each one alone would be manageable. Together, they're compounding, and the mechanics who understand all 3 are already adapting, while most truck owners are still assuming the system works the way it used to. Now, we define the risk, not in theory, in parts. These are the components disappearing first, and why. Engine control modules, ECMs, electronic brain units tied to VIN-specific programming, often imported or built from globally sourced chips, now carrying both tariff exposure and semiconductor delays. A unit that cost $900 to $1,200 pre-2025 is already pushing $1,500 to $2,200, armed with availability tightening as soon as production support ends. Mass airflow sensors and O2 sensors, precision components largely manufactured in Asia, directly hit by the 25% tariff layer and already subject to the 27% pre-existing repair inflation. A $150 sensor quietly becomes $250 plus, while lead times stretch to 4 to 6 months because distributors are reducing stock risk. Fuel injectors and injection pumps, pre-2010 trucks, critical for older diesel platforms, now crossing into the discontinuation window, where OEM supply is thinning. A $300 injector moves to $500 plus, and once flagged NLA, secondary market pricing spikes beyond $800 per unit. Transmission solenoids, small, electronic, and highly proprietary to specific transmission codes, making aftermarket substitution unreliable. What previously $200 to $400 components, now approaching $500 to $700, with frequent back orders due to just-in-time supply constraints. None of this is random. Each part sits at the intersection of the 3 forces. Tariffs increase the cost. Discontinuation removes the fallback. Just-in-time eliminates the buffer. So price goes up, supply goes down, time stretches, Now, map that to actual trucks. GMT 800 Silverado owners. Your injectors and control modules are already aging into discontinuation pressure. OBS Ford F150 owners. Your sensors and electronic components are long past stable production support. Early 2000s, Rom Cummins owners. Your fuel system parts are entering the exact window where OEM supply collapses and salvage becomes the only option. This is not a universal shortage. It's targeted by model year, by part category, by supply chain exposure. And if your truck is on that list, the only question that matters now is timing. Because knowing what disappears is only half the equation. The other half is knowing when to act and where to get these parts before the price triples or the supply vanishes completely. At this point, this stops being a parts problem. It becomes an ownership problem. You were told you own your truck, title in your name, keys in your pocket, full control. That's the assumption. But ownership only works if you can maintain the asset. And maintenance only works if parts exist, are accessible, and are affordable. That is no longer guaranteed. The tariff wall controls the price. The discontinuation clock controls the lifespan. The just-in-time system controls availability. All three sit outside your control. All three determine whether your truck runs or sits. So what do you actually own? A machine you cannot fully repair. A system you cannot fully access. An asset with an expiration curve you were never shown. That is not full ownership. That is conditional access. So the question isn't whether the trap exists. The question is whether you recognize it early enough to avoid walking straight into it. The mechanics who understand this aren't waiting. They've already changed how they think about parts, not as expenses, as assets. A mass airflow sensor that costs $150 today is not a $150 cost. It's a future $250 replacement avoided. That's a 66% return, sitting on a shelf. And that math is conservative. You already saw a 27% increase before tariffs. Now, layer in another 25% on top of that supply chain. That's compounding pressure. Prices don't rise linearly, they jump. So smart mechanics are acting now. They are sourcing from salvage yards before inventory gets picked clean. They are buying from independent suppliers who stocked parts pre-tariff. They are going directly to importers before the full 25% cost filters through retail pricing. They are bypassing the OEM channel entirely. They are also tracking NLA status. The moment a part goes NLA, secondary markets react instantly. Supply tightens. Listings disappear. Prices spike. Quietly, quickly. Identify the three most vulnerable components on your truck. Source them now. Store them before you need them. Sensors, modules, fuel system components. Not everything, just the parts that can shut your truck down completely. Because the window is still open, but it is narrowing. And 6 months from now, the difference won't be knowledge. It will be action. Either you already have the part on your shelf, or you're standing at a counter, hearing the same word that started this entire chain. Discontinued,